cat out of the bag now?
I got no idea. I didn't even know there was a cat. Hi, buddy.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Hey, that was a simple call. Your email? I called Jeremy. I said, call Booney. And he verified. And I'm like, okay, he's off the hook.
I had the ticket and everything with me.
That's okay. I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, thank you.
That was an easy one. Don't spread that around, though. I don't want everybody to think I'm a nice guy.
Gotcha. You'll tarnish his reputation.
Yeah, I didn't know this is super secret. I didn't know.
Well, you know how some of those coaches are with their lineups. They don't want to give them out until the last minute.
And that's L. Milnes.
L. Milnes.
Harper Bikema. Damhoff, Milnes, Anderson, DeRicky.
Is it DeRicky? Is that how it's pronounced?
DeRicky, yep.
It's not DeRick?
Nope, DeRicky.
Really?
Her mom was my bus driver at Anawan Weathersfield for about 20 years. She's sitting right there. She came up and gave me a big hug. I go, I didn't know that was your daughter. I hadn't seen her in a while.
Fulton Steamer Volleyball is on the air live from Stan Borgman Court here at Fulton High School. It's time for NUIC Volleyball tonight as the Fulton Steamers play host to the Morrison Phillies. How you doing, everybody? Robert Bertram live from Stan Borgman Court here tonight. The side of this matchup between these two rivals here this evening, the first of two regular season meetings. The Morrison Phillies come into the matchup tonight with a record of 2-3 in the NUIC South, currently tied for fourth overall, the Phillies come in with a record of 10 wins, 10 losses, and 2 ties. They are coming off a loss last night. They were in non-conference play at Rock Island Alaman and were defeated by the Pioneers 2-0, losing by scores of 25-21 and 25-19. The Fulton Steamers, they come in to the contest tonight sitting at 5-1 in the NUIC South, currently in second place, a half a game back of division leading Eastland. Overall, the Steamers come in with a record of 13 wins and 6 losses. They also were in action last night and on the road defeated Milledgeville 2-0. The Steamers winning by identical 25-22 scores. The Steamers, of course, under the direction of 31st year head coach Stacy Gurman. She comes in with a record of 595 wins, 408 losses, and 16 ties. The Morrison Phillies under the direction of head coach Jill DeRicci. And now here is our national anthem. All right, so there you have our national anthem. Glad to have you aboard wherever you're tuning in our telecast this evening. The freshman match tied 1-1. The JV match going to Fulton, it took 3 sets before the Steamers prevailed in the JV match over Morrison, winning 2-1. The Steamers won the first set, 25-15. Morrison won the second set, 25-23. And then the Steamers took the third set in the JV match, 25-10, to win it 2-1. Starting lineups for the Morrison Phillies tonight. It'll be number 19, Allie Anderson, the senior. Also number 12, Sophie Damhoff, the sophomore. Also for the Phillies, it'll be number 8, Sophie Milnes, the senior. Also, it'll be number 2, Harper Bykema, the senior. Leah Young, the junior, wears number 6. Also, it's number 11, Elle Milnes, the junior. And the libero for the Phillies will be number 3, Claire DeRicci, the junior. As is tradition here at Fulton High School, the lights go down, the video board lights up with Fulton Steamer volleyball highlights, and then we will get to the Steamer starting lineups here tonight. As I mentioned, Eastland right now leading the NUIC South Division at 5-0. The Steamers just a half a game back at 5-1, Milledgeville at 4-2. Then you have both Morrison and Polo sitting at 2-3 in conference play. Amboy is 1-5, and AFC sitting at 0-5. Besides this game here tonight between Fulton and Morrison, it is Milledgeville playing host to Eastland tonight. Also, AFC is at Polo. So we're getting set now for the starting lineups for the Fulton Steamers. Good crowd on hand here tonight from both schools, as is the case when you get Fulton and Morrison dueling it out. Here is the starting lineups for the Fulton Steamers tonight. It'll be number 10, Avery Bush, the junior. Also back in action. Good to see her back in action. It's number 2, the sophomore, Chloe Wilkin. Also for the Steamers, it'll be number 12, Jordan Rathburn, the senior. Also number 3, Kirby Gurman, the freshman for the Steamers. Also for the Steamers, it'll be number 11, Jada Shaver, the senior. And number 5, Brianne Brennan, the sophomore. And getting the libero tonight, it'll be number 21, Belle Curley, the senior. So there you have the starting lineups for both the Fulton Steamers and the Morrison Phillies. Again, the Steamers come in at 5-1 in the NUIC South, 13-6 overall. Morrison comes in at 2-3 in conference play, 10-10-2 on the season. So sit back and enjoy our coverage here tonight. Glad to have you aboard. Whether you're in Morrison, Fulton, elsewhere across the country, glad to be back here at Stan Borgman Court. We'll have Steamer football coming up on Friday. Of course, this is homecoming week here at Fulton. The homecoming court was introduced in between the JV and varsity games. So the officials will check the lineups on the floor, make sure everybody's in their proper positions, and then we'll get tonight's contest underway. Again, the first of 2 regular season meetings. They'll play again on October 23rd at Morrison. So here we go. Avery Bush to serve for the Steamers, 90% on the season with 12 aces. Here's the serve, we're underway. Morrison will set, far side, tapped over. Steamers look to set it far side. Rathburn, her shot's too strong over the end line. And Morrison with an early 1-0 advantage. Side out for the Phillies. And to serve will be number 10, Brycelyn Osborne. 91% on the season with 8 aces. Here's the serve to the back row. Steamers can't get the return. So it's a quick 2-0 start for the Morrison Phillies. Side out remains Morrison. Osborne again to serve. This time comes to the near side. Steamers get the return. Morrison sets it up front, and somebody was under the net. Violation on the Phillies. Steamers get the point. It's 2-1. Side out Fulton. Serving will be Belle Curley. 89% on the season with 12 aces. And that one's in the net. As Morrison cannot get the return, Steamers get the point. Side out remains Fulton. We're tied 2-2. So Steamers have come back to tie it up. Curley on the serve again. This one too strong over the end line. Morrison has a 3-2 lead. Side out for the Phillies. Serving will be number 8, Sophia Milnes. 88% on the season with 6 aces. To the back row. Tap on the near side for Gurman. Knocks it down for the kill. Kirby Gurman knocks it down for the Steamers. Gurman comes in leading the team in kills with 168. Side out Fulton. In to serve will be Zoe Kunau. 87% on the season, leads the team with 25 aces. Nice serve to the back by the left-hander. Tapped over by Morrison. Steamers nice hustle by Gurman, gets the serve over. And I think they're going to call Gurman for under the net. They are. Nice attempt, Kirby, nonetheless. 4-3, Phillies, side out Morrison. Serving will be number 2, Harper Bykema. 88% on the season with 6 aces. Kunau sets it near side for Gurman, and that's down for the kill. It's Kirby Gurman with a couple kills. It's 4-4 tie here in the opening set. Best 2 out of 3. Side out for the Steamers. Kirby Gurman to serve, 91% on the season with 14 aces. Nice serve. Set near side. Morrison taps it over. Good hustle by Gurman on the dig, and it drops in for the point. 5-4. Steamers by 1. Side out remains for Fulton. Again, Kirby Gurman to serve. Here in the opening set. Nice serve. There's an ace for Kirby Gurman. Her 15th ace of the season. 6-4 Steamers. Here's Gurman again. And that's a net serve. Morrison gets the point. Side out for the Phillies. 6-5 Steamers. Allie Schaefer to serve. Here's the serve by Schaefer to the back. Set up front, tapped over by Smither. Now the Phillies get it over. Nice dig by Gurman. Set on the far side, and that one's over the end line, too strong. And we're tied 6-6. Side out remains for Morrison. Again, Schaefer to serve. To the back. Kunau sets it up front, tapped over, but it's out of bounds by Avery Bush. And it's 7-6. Morrison. So side out remains for the Phillies. They lead it now 7-6. To the back. Steamers get it over on the return. Phillies get it over, and the Steamers can't get the return. It's off of Fulton, out of bounds. 8-6 Morrison. Side out remains for the Phillies. They've put together a string of points here to open up a 2-point lead. Serve to the back. Kunau sets far side. That one's knocked over by the Steamers. pushed over by Morrison. And that one's knocked into the coffin corner for the point on the kill by Allie Anderson. And Morrison with a 3-point lead at 9-6. Side out for the Phillies. And a net serve. So that'll put an end to the run by Morrison. It's 9-7. Morrison. Side out Fulton. Jada Shaver to serve. And Morrison can't get the return. Steamers get the point. It's 9-8. Jada on the season, 94% serving with 9 aces. Here's the serve to the back. Morrison scrambles to get it over. Kuhnau sets, tapped over by Wilkin. Now is set by Morrison. Nice block by Chloe Wilkin on that far side. Steamers get the point, and they've come from 3 down to tie it up at 9 apiece. Side out Steamers. Again, Shaver to serve. Nice one to the back row. Set on the near side. Morrison pushes it over. Steamers set it on the far side, and that one's going to be out of bounds off of Morrison. So the Steamers get it. They take a 1-point lead at 10-9. So it's a 4-0 run by the Steamers here. Shaver, there's an ace. 11-9. Side out remains Fulton. Leading 11-9. And Shaver to serve, and that one's just out of bounds. So it's 11-10. Side out Morrison. Steamers with a 1-point lead. L. Mills to serve. Kuhnau sets it up front. Wilkin tapped it over. This one. Steamers scramble. Wilkin taps it over again. Now Morrison sets it near side. They push it over, and the Steamers can't get to it and get the return. Drops in. It's 11-all tie. Side out remains for Morrison. We're in the opening set, tied at 11. And there's an ace for L. Mills. Her 9th ace of the season. And Morrison's come back to grab a 1-point lead. And Fulton can't get the return. As they run out of room on the far side, 13-11 Morrison. Side out Phillies. Set on the far side. Steamers tap it over. And the Phillies can't get the return. So it's 13-12. Side out Fulton. Steamers down 1. Serving will be Breanne Brennan, 93% on the season, 23 aces. And there's an ace by Brennan. And it ties it up at 13 apiece. Side out remains for the Steamers. Chance to get the lead back. Nice serve to the back row. Here's a set up front. Tapped over by Morrison, but it's out of bounds. Steamers get the point and the 1-point lead at 14-13 here in the opening set. Again, Brennan to serve. And that one's too strong over the end line. And we're tied at 14. Side out now, Morrison. Claire DeRicky to serve. Set up front, Chloe Wilkin tapped it over. Now Morrison looks to the return, they get it over. Steamers set it up front. Wilkin gets the kill. 15-14, Steamers by 1. Side out for Fulton, Avery Bush to serve. Nice serve. This is set up front, tapped over, and it's just in. Just inside the near sideline for the Morrison point. Tied at 15, side out for the Phillies. Brycelyn Osborne to serve. To the back. Steamers set it. And the Steamers can't get the return. Morrison gets the point. It's 16-15. Morrison side out for the Phillies. There's the serve, and that's over the end line, too strong by Brycelyn Osborne. Steamers get the point, tied at 16. Side out for Fulton. Belle Curley to serve. Here's the serve. Set near side. Morrison pushes it over. It's out of bounds. 17-16 Steamers. Sophie Mills tried to get it on the near side, but it went out of bounds. Serve to the back row. Now Morrison gets the return. Steamers scramble to get it returned back, and they do. It falls into that near corner. An empty corner at that, courtesy of Kirby Gurman. And it's 18-16. Side out remains for the Steamers, up 2 here in the opening set. There's the serve to the middle, tapped over by Morrison. Steamers look to get it back. They do. Now Morrison sets it up front, and that one's down for the kill by Hallie Schaefer. 18-17 Steamers, side out Morrison. Sophia Milnes will serve. Sophia Milnes with a serve. Steamers scramble to get the return. Gurman hits it too strong over the end line. It's tied up at 18 apiece. Side out remains for Morrison. Here's the serve. Steamers set it up front. Scramble to get the return. They do. Now Morrison sets it up front. That one's blocked back over by the Steamers. Another nice block on that far side. Rathburn and Smither teaming up. It's 19-18 Steamers. Side out for Fulton. Coming in to serve will be Zoe Kunow with her team up 1 here in the opening set, 19-18. NUIC Southern Division Volleyball. Nice serve to the back row. There's a set on the far side, and the Steamers can't get the return as Elle Milnes gets credited with that. And we're tied at 19 apiece, side out for Morrison. Harper Bykema to serve. And that one's too strong over the end line by Haley Smithers, 20-19. Favor of Morrison. Side out remains for the Phillies. There's the set on the near side for Gurman, and that's over the end line. Too strong. And it's 21-19 Morrison. Side out remains for the Phillies, and that'll lead to a Steamer timeout. Timeout on the floor. We'll come back after this message. Robert Bertram back here at Stan Borgman Court. Steamers using a timeout. They've fallen behind by 2. And that one drops in for the point for Morrison. And the Phillies have a 3-point lead here in the opening set, 22-19. Side out remains Bikema to serve. That one's over the end line. Steamers get the point. 22-20. Morrison. Side out Fulton. Kirby Gurman to serve. Nice block up front by the Steamers. And they get it over. Now a set up front. Nice block again by the Steamers. Morrison will push it over. Steamers look to keep it alive, and they can't get it. It's into the net. Morrison gets the point. 23-20. Morrison. Here in the opening set, side out for the Phillies. And we're going to get another timeout. So timeout on the court. 23-20 Morrison. Phillies will have the side out when we come back after this timeout.
From the moment I walk in the morning to the time I go home at night, I'm helping people. And they're doing things that made me nervous the first time and even the second time, and that is buying or financing a home. It makes me happy to be able to help them be more comfortable in that process. And that's generally the case. By the time we get to closing, everybody's pretty comfortable with the situation and the financing options they have.
All right, welcome back to Stan Borgman Court following the Steamer timeout. 23-20 Morrison, side out for the Phillies here in the opening set. Set near side, and Morrison knocks it over. 24-20 Phillies. Set point Morrison. 24-20. Serve to the back row. Steamers set up front, tapped over. And Morrison can't get the return. It's 24-21. Steamers down 3 here in the opening set. Jada Shaver in to serve. Again, Steamers down 24-21. Set point, be careful. And we have a violation on Morrison. So it's 24-22. Phillies, side out remains Fulton. Shaver to serve. Returned by Morrison. Steamers scramble to get the return. They get it. Now the Phillies set far side. Nice block on that far side. Chloe Wilkin. And Jessa Reed teaming up, 24-23. And now we'll get a timeout the opposite way. 24-23, Morrison. Fulton will serve when we come back after this timeout.
To you like a normal person, we're going to explain things, educate you, and just really welcome you in with open arms. It's a very simple phone call to make that could really change your future.
All right, welcome back to Stan Borgman Court following the timeout. 24-23 Morrison. Side out remains for Fulton. Again, Jada Shaver to serve. Morrison sets far side, tapped over, and the Steamers can't get the return, and Morrison will win the first set, 25-23. So Morrison wins the first set over Fulton, 25-23. So the Steamers going to have to regroup for that second set as they fall in the opening set to Morrison, 25-23. We'll step aside for this extended timeout. When we come back, we'll get set for the second match of the day. And Fulton trailing Morrison 1-0. We'll step aside for this timeout.
We've got a saying around here that says we're just regular people helping regular people. And I think it's more than a saying. I think when you walk through the door, you realize that.
We believe in being good stewards of what has been entrusted to us, and that includes people trusting us to manage their money that they work their whole life to achieve, and that's their nest that they're going to retire on.
You're going to feel like you're part of it.
Robert Bertram back here at Stan Borgman Court. A shocker in the opening set as the Morrison Phillies defeat the Fulton Steamers in that opening set, 25-23. As we get set for the second set of this best 2 out of 3. Again, Morrison coming in tied for 4th in the Southern Division at 2-3. The Steamers half a game back of Eastland at 5-1 in second place. So here we go, side out Morrison to begin the second set. Brycelyn Osborne too strong, and the Steamers with an early 1-0 lead. Side out for Fulton. Bell Curley to serve. Here's the serve, and it's too strong over the end line. So we're tied 1-1. Side out Morrison. Serving for the Phillies, Sophia Milnes. German on the dig. There's the set up front, and that one's out of bounds. Too strong by Haley Smither over the end line. 2-1 Morrison. Side out Phillies. There's the serve again. Set near side for German. That's in for the kill. So we're tied 2-2. Side out Fulton. Steamers trailing 1-0. Zoe Kunow in to serve. Here's the left-handed serve, and it's into the net. 3-2 Morrison, side out for the Phillies. Harper Bykema to serve. To the back. There's the set near side for German, taps it over. Now Morrison can't get the return. It's into the net off the hands of Elle Milnes. And the Steamers get the point and the side out. 3-3 tie here in the second set. If you're just joining us, Morrison won the first set over Fulton, 25-23. And the Steamers get the point, 4-3. Fulton side out for the Steamers. Kirby Gurman to serve. There's the serve. Nice block up front. Haley Smither. Jessa Reed. 5-3 Steamers. Side out remains Fulton. Again, Gurman to serve. Nice serve. Phillies push it over. Steamers set up front for Smithers, and that's down for the kill. On the set from Zoe Kunow, it's 6-3 Steamers. Side out remains for Fulton. Kirby Gurman to serve. Nice serve. Set near side. Morrison pushes it over. Steamers scramble to get the return. They can't do it. And Morrison gets the point. Side out for the Phillies, 6-4 Steamers. Schaefer to serve. Steamers get it over. Morrison gets it over, and it's in. Right on that line. That was the right call. From this angle, you could tell it hit right on the, right there. 6-5. Right inside that line. Steamer lead down to 1. Morrison gets the return. Steamers set it, tapped over by Smither. Now the Phillies get it over, and that one's in as well. Catching the Steamers out of place. And we're tied 6-6. Side out remains for Morrison. Schaefer again to serve for the Phillies. As the Steamer lead is evaporated here in the second set. Set up front for the Phillies. Nice block for the Steamers, and Morrison can't get the return. Steamers get the point, 7-6. Side out Fulton. Jada Shaver in to serve with the Steamers up 1 here in the second set. Morrison won the opening set 25-23. Serve to the back by Shaver. Nice block up front, Chloe Wilkin. Lets her presence be known. 8-6 Steamers. Side out remains Fulton. So serve by Jada. Nice block up front again by Wilkin. Kunow sets it back, tapped over by Chloe Wilkin. Morrison plays it out of the net. Nope, somebody's under the net. Steamers get the point. Side out remains for Fulton, 9-6 Steamers. Jada Shaver again to serve. And that one's too strong over the end line. So Morrison gets the point, 9-7 Fulton. Side out for the Phillies. Elle Mills to serve, and that's too strong over the end line. And it's 10-7. Steamers side out. Breanne Brennan in to serve. Again, we're in the second set. Morrison won the first set. And that's a net serve by Brennan. Point Morrison, side out for the Phillies. Claire DeRicky to serve. To the back. Steamers near side. That one's blocked, tapped back over, and Morrison sets, tapped over by the Phillies. Steamers near side. Bush can't get it over. It's into the net. Morrison gets the point. Side out remains for the Phillies. It's 10-9. 10-9. Fulton, side out, Morrison. Again, DeRicky to serve. Steamers set up front. Wilkin pushes it over. Morrison gets the return, and the Steamers cannot get the return back. And the point for Morrison. So we're all tied at 10 apiece here in the second set. Side out Phillies. Here's a set up front, Chloe Wilkin, and that one's out of bounds over the sideline. So Morrison has come back to grab a 1-point lead at 11-10. Side out remains for the Phillies. Steamers on their heels right now in the second set. And that one's into the net. It's 12-10. Morrison, side out remains for the Phillies. Here's the serve. Set. That one's out of bounds. It's 13-10 Morrison. Fulton wants timeout. 13-10 Morrison here in the second set as they look to sweep the two games here tonight with the Steamers. Will come back after this timeout.
We've got a saying around here that says we're just regular people helping regular people. And I think it's more than a saying. I think when you walk through the door, you realize that.
We believe in being good stewards of what has been entrusted to us, and that includes people trusting us to manage their money that they work their whole life to achieve, and that's their nest that they're going to retire on.
You're going to feel like you're part of a family. We're going to talk to you like a normal person. We're going to explain things, educate you, and just really welcome you.
Robert Bertram back here at Stan Boardman Court. Steamers using a timeout. They're down 3 here in the second set. And Chloe Wilkin tapped it over. Morrison gets the return. Steamers set. Wilkin again pushes it over. Morrison gets the return. Now the Steamers get it over, and Morrison can't get the return. Drops in for the Steamer point. 13-11, Fulton down 2. Here in the second set. Steamers down 2. Again, they have to win this set to force a third and decisive set. Otherwise, Morrison will come up with the upset victory. There's a set up front. Wilkin tapped it over. And Morrison under the net. Violation on the Phillies. Steamers get the point. 13-12 Morrison. Side out for the Steamers. Avery Bush to serve. And there's an ace for Avery Bush, a much needed ace for the Steamers. 13-13 tie. Side out Fulton here in the second set. And it's knocked over. Good block up at the net by the Steamers. Chloe Wilkin, 14-13. Fulton, side out, Steamers. Avery Bush again, serving to the back. Morrison gets it over. Steamers look to get the return. German knocks it down. And the Steamers have the lead at 14, 15, 13. And we're going to get a timeout, Morrison. So we seesaw the other direction. Fulton by a deuce. We'll come back to Stan Borgman Court after this timeout.
We've got a saying around here that says we're just regular people helping regular people. And I think it's more than a saying. I think when you walk through the door, you realize that. We believe in being good.
All right, welcome back to Stan Borgman Court. 15-13 Steamers. Side out remains for Fulton. Avery Bush to serve again. Here's a set up front for Morrison. Steamers look to get the return. Play it off the roof. They can't. Miscommunication there. The ball drops right down to the point. 15-14. Side out swings to Morrison. And it will be Brycelyn Osborne to serve. And the Steamers can't get the return. It's out of bounds, tied at 15 here in the second set. Again, Morrison won the first set, 25-23. Side out remains for the Phillies. That one's too strong over the end line. And the Steamers have a 1-point lead at 16-15. Side out Fulton. Belle Curley comes in to serve. Here's the serve to the middle. Morrison sets it far side. They tap it over. Steamers look to get it over. They do. Now Morrison gets a return, but it's out of bounds. Steamers get the point. It's 17-15 Fulton. Side out remains for the Steamers. Again, Belle Curley to serve. Here's Morrison setting up on the near side. Nice block by the Steamers. They push it back over. And Morrison can't get the return. Drops in for the point. It's 18-15 Steamers. Side out Fulton. So they try to put a little string together here of points. And a nice serve by Belle Curley. That's a big ace for Belle Curley. It's 19-15 Steamers. Curley again to serve. And that one is in for another ace. 20-15 Steamers. As the senior Belle Curley has stepped up with back-to-back aces. Morrison taps it over. Steamers look for the return. German's shot is blocked. Steamers push it over for the point off of Kirby German. It's 21-15 Steamers. Side out remains Fulton. We're in the second set. Curley again to serve. And Morrison on the violation. It's 22-15 Fulton here in the second set, and Morrison wants timeout. Timeout on the court. We'll come back to Fulton High School after this timeout.
Work their whole life to achieve, and that's their nest that they're going to retire on.
You're going to feel like you're part of a family. We're going to talk to you like a normal person. We're going to explain things, educate you, and just really welcome you in with open arms. It's a very simple phone call to make that could really change your future.
Robert Bertram back here at Stan Borgman Court. Morrison using the timeout. Side out remains Fulton. Bell Curley to serve with the Steamers up 7. Serve to the middle. Morrison gets the return. Steamers set it up front, tapped over by Haley Smither. Morrison taps it over. Steamers get it over on the push. Now Morrison sets it far side, and the Steamers can't get the return. It's off Bell Curley out of bounds, and that'll put an end to the Steamer run. It's 22-16. Side out Morrison. Side out Morrison. Sophia Milnes to serve. 22-16 Steamers here in the second set. And Morrison can't get the return. It's 23-16. Fulton. Side out Steamers. Side out Fulton. 23-16. Zoe Kunow in to serve, with Fulton up 7. Nice serve. There's a set up front. Nice block by the Steamers. Morrison will get the return. Good scramble by the Phillies to get the return. Steamers knock it over. Now Morrison tries to tap it over. It's blocked back. Now they'll try to get it over again. Steamers look to get the return. Gurman taps it over. Now Morrison scrambles. They get the return, and it's in. On that far sideline, 23-17 Fulton. Here in the second set, side out Morrison. Harper Bykema to serve. There's the serve. Set near side for Gurman, and that's too strong over the end line. It's 23-18. Morrison within 5. Side out remains for the Phillies. Again, Bykema to serve. Steamers set up front. Smither taps it over. And Morrison can't get the return. And the Steamers lead it now 24-18. Side out Fulton. And it's set point. Set point Steamers. Kirby Gurman to serve. Morrison gets the return. Steamers set it up front. Smither taps it over. Phillies get the return. Steamers set near side. And Morrison cannot get the return. That's a winner. As the Steamers come back to take the second set, 25-18. So Fulton wins the second set over Morrison, 25-18, as that will force a third and decisive set coming up in a couple minutes. We're going to step aside for this extended timeout. Don't you dare go away. We're back after this.
Walk in the morning to the time I go home at night, I'm helping people, and they're doing things that made me nervous the first time and even the second time, and that is buying or financing a home. It makes me happy to be able to help them be more comfortable in that process, and that's generally the case. By the time we get to closing, everybody's pretty comfortable with the situation and the financing options they have.
All right, welcome back to Stan Borgman Court. We go to the third and decisive set in this NUIC Southern Division showdown, Fulton and Morrison. As the Steamers take the second set over the Phillies, side out Morrison as we begin the third and decisive set. Brycelyn Osborne to serve. So here we go. Set 3. Fulton, Morrison. Tied at a set apiece. Serve is net. Point, Steamers, 1-0. Side out, Fulton. Bell Curley to serve. With the Steamers up 1-0. And there's a net serve. So we're tied 1-1. Side out Morrison. Sophia Milnes to serve. And that one's too strong by Haley Smither over the end line. It's 2-1 Morrison. Side out for the Phillies. Again, Milnes to serve. And the Steamers can't get the return. Point Morrison, 3-1. Phillies with the lead, side out Morrison. Here in the third and decisive set. Set near side for Gurman, and that's down for the kill by Kirby Gurman. Into the corner. It's 3-2, side out Fulton. Zoe Kunow in to serve. With the Steamers down 1 here in the third set. There's the serve, a net serve and an ace for Zoe Kunow. Came into the match tonight leading the Steamers in aces with 25, and she adds to that season total here with that huge ace right there to tie it up at 3. Tapped over by Morrison. Steamers set near side. Gurman tapped it over. And the Phillies get it on the return. Now the Steamers look to get it over. They do. Morrison gets it to go down. Steamers can't get the return. It drops in for the point. And it's 4-3 Phillies. Side out Morrison. Harper Bykema to serve. And that's too strong over the end line. And we're tied 4-4. Side out Fulton. Third and decisive set. Morrison won the first set. Fulton came back to get the second set. Morrison blocks the Steamer attempt there. They'll set near side. And that one's off the hands of Morrison, out of bounds. It's 5-4 Steamers. Side out Fulton. And it's Kirby Gurman to serve. The Steamers up 1. To the middle. And Morrison gets it over. Steamers scramble to get the return, and they cannot get it. Good hustle nonetheless. They just cannot get the return. Morrison gets the point, and we're tied at 5 apiece. Side out for the Phillies. Hallie Schaefer to serve. There's the serve. Steamers into the net. 6-5 Morrison. Side out Phillies. Schaefer to serve. Schaefer to serve for Morrison. The Phillies up 1 here in the third and decisive set. The Steamers can't get it over. It's 7-5 Morrison. Side out remains for the Phillies. Steamers look to get the return. They do. It goes down by Avery Bush. It's 7-6 Morrison. Side out Fulton. Jada Shaver in to serve with the Steamers down 1 here in the third set. And a net serve. It gets over for the Steamers. Morrison taps it back on the return. Steamers set near side, and Morrison can't get the return. So we're tied 7 apiece here in the third set. Side out Fulton. Jada Shaver serving. Serve to the back. There's the set up front, tapped over by Morrison. Steamers scramble to get the return. They get it. Avery Bush. It's 8-7 Steamers. Side out remains Fulton. Again, Shaver to serve. Nice serve to the back corner. Set up front for the Phillies. They tap it in. Steamers can't get the return. Off the hands of a diving Jada Shaver. We're tied 8 apiece. Fulton and Morrison, third set. Side out Phillies. Steamers set up front. Wilkin tapped it over. Now the Phillies get the return, but it's over the end line. Too strong. 9-8 Fulton, side out Steamers. Again, we're in the third set. Breanne Brennan in to serve. Nice serve to the back. And Morrison gets the return. The Steamers cannot come up with their own return. And Morrison gets the point to tie it at 9 apiece. Side out for the Phillies. Claire DeRicky to serve. And that's knocked down. Chloe Wilkin off the hands of the Phillies out of bounds. It's 10-9 Fulton. Side out Steamers. Avery Bush to serve. There's the set, tapped over. Now it's pushed back over by the Steamers. And that one's knocked down with a kill by Kirby Gurman. It's 11-9 Steamers. We have some Steamers side out. Avery Bush serving. Fulton up 2. Nice serve to the back row. Here's the set on the far side. Nice block by the Steamers. And Morrison cannot get the return. They run out of room. It's 12-9 Fulton. Side out remains for the Steamers. We're in the third and decisive set. Tied at a game apiece. Here's the serve. And Morrison can't get the return. An ace for Avery Bush. And Morrison wants timeout. 13-9 Steamers here in the third set. We'll come back to Stan Borgman Court after this timeout. All right, welcome back. Stan Boardman Court. Steamers by 4. And that serve is over the end line by Avery Bush, too strong. Morrison gets the point, puts an end to the Steamer run. It's 13-10. Fulton here in the third set. Side out for the Phillies. Brycelyn Osborne to serve. There's a set for the Steamers near side. Gurman tapped it over. And the Phillies shot is too strong over the end line. It's 14-10 Fulton, side out Steamers. Hats off to both schools here tonight, playing their hearts out. NUIC Southern Division Volleyball at its finest. And Morrison can't get the return. It's an ace for Belle Curley. It's 15-10 Steamers. We're in the third and decisive set. Curley's on the serve. Steamers get it over. Kirby Gurman. 16-10 Fulton. Side out remains Steamers. Again, Belle Curley to serve. And that one's too strong over the end line. So it's 16-11 Fulton, side out Morrison. Sophia Milnes to serve. Steamers look, set it up front, tapped over by Fulton. Morrison looks for the return, they get it over. Now the Steamers scramble to get it back over, and they get it over. And that one's knocked down by Jordan Rathburn for the kill. It's 17-11 Steamers. Side out Fulton. Zoe Kunau in to serve with her team up 6 here in the third set. There's the left-handed serve. Set up front for Morrison. Steamers scramble to get the return. They get it over. Now Morrison looks to get the return. They get it over. Steamers cannot get the return. Drops for the point. And Morrison will have the side out, down 5 here in the third set. Side out for the Phillies. Harper Bykema to serve. There's the serve. It's over the end line, too strong. 18-12 Steamers, side out Fulton. Kirby Gurman to serve. There's the serve. Steamers get it back on the return. Morrison returns it back as well. Now the Steamers get it back over. Phillies look to get the return. They do. Now the Steamers scramble to get the return back. And that attempt knocked out of bounds off the Steamers. So it's 18-13 Fulton. Side out Morrison. Here in the third set. Side out for the Phillies. Hallie Schaefer to serve. There's the serve. Steamers knock it over. Morrison sets it far side, tapped over. Steamers scramble to get the return. Bush taps it over. Nice block on the far side by Jessa Reed, but it's off her hands, out of bounds. Morrison gets the point, 18-14. Fulton side out for the Phillies. And that one's too strong over the end line by Hallie Schaefer. It's 19-14 Steamers. Side out Fulton. Jada Shaver in to serve. With the Steamers up 5 here in the third set. Nice serve to the middle. Morrison sets it up, tapped over, and the Steamers can't get the return. Drops in for the Philly point. It's 19-15, side out Morrison. L. Milnes to serve. Steamers set near side, tapped over. Now Morrison looks for the return. They get it over. Steamers set it up front. Chloe Wilkin knocked it over. And that one's Fulton point into the net. Good blocking up front by the Steamers front line. It's 20-15 Fulton, side out for the Steamers. Breanne Brennan in to serve. Nice serve. Morrison gets the return and it drops in with a kill by Allie Anderson. 20-16 Steamers, side out Morrison. Claire DeRicky to serve. Steamers look for the return up front. Chloe Wilkin, and that's too strong over the end line. 20-17. Side out Morrison. 20-17 Steamers. DeRicky on the serve. Steamers set it near side into the net by Fulton. It's 20-18. Morrison on a run. Steamers are going to have to use a timeout. 20-18. Fulton lead down to 2. Morrison will be serving when we come back after this timeout. Welcome back to Stan Borgman Court following the Fulton timeout. 20-18, Steamers by 2. Side out remains for Morrison. Steamers get the return. Morrison taps it over. Now Fulton looks to get the return. They do. And the Phillies knock it over. Steamers get it back over the net. Morrison pushes it over. Steamers scramble to get it back on the return. It's too strong over the end line. 20-19. Fulton lead down to 1. Side out remains Morrison. DeRicky to serve again. That one's tapped over into the net. Morrison's Harper Bykema tried to get it over. It was a high floater, and she shot it right into the net. Steamers get the point, put an end to the run by the Phillies. 21-19. Avery Bush on the serve. And Morrison gets the return, but it's too strong over the end line. Steamers get the point. 22-19 Fulton. Third and decisive set. Avery Bush to serve. And Morrison cannot get the return. It drops in. 23-19 Steamers. And we'll get a Morrison timeout. Welcome back to Stan Borgman Court. Don't go away. We're back after this timeout.
I'm helping people, and they're doing things that made me nervous the first time and even the second time, and that is buying or financing a home. It makes me happy to be able to help them be more comfortable in that process, and that's generally the case. By the time we get to closing, everybody's pretty comfortable with the situation and the financing options they have.
Robert Bertram back here, Stan Borgman Court, 23-19 Steamers. Morrison for the return, and they can't get it. Chloe Wilkin up front to block it down. 24-19 Fulton here in the third set. It is set point, Avery Bush. And there's an ace! The Steamers have done it. They win the third and decisive set, 25-19. As Fulton defeats Morrison tonight in 3 sets. Fulton winning 2-1 over the Morrison Phillies here tonight, but give credit to Morrison as they played their hearts out here tonight and just about pulled off the upset. But the Steamers prevail, coming back and winning the third set, 25-19. So the first set went to Morrison, 25-23. The Steamers regrouped, came back, won the second set, 25-18, to force a third and decisive set. And then in that third and decisive set, we seesawed back and forth, and it was the Steamers coming out on top, 25-19 in that third and decisive set, as Fulton goes on to get the victory over Morrison in the rivalry. And again, this is the first of 2 meetings between these 2 schools, and Fulton gets the first meeting here when it counts, winning 2-1 over Morrison this evening. And joining us has to be a happy Kirby Gurman.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What a victory, and to get it over your rival Morrison here tonight has to make you feel good.
Yeah, very good.
Well, you guys started out in that first match back and forth, and then Morrison ended up defeating you in that first match, 25-23. What'd you girls do? I'm sure you had some talking back and forth, try to regroup after that first opening set loss.
Yeah, we had to definitely talk to each other, and we had to communicate more. And we definitely got yelled at by my mom a little bit, but it definitely, brought us together and showed us what we needed to work on.
Showed you guys composure. You came back in that second set, again, the second set, back and forth again, but you had some key servings that went down. You had some good net play as well, and you came out and won that second set, and you guys had to give you that momentum heading into that third set.
Yeah, it definitely gave us a lot of energy, and them being our rivals, we got to get them back.
All right, and in that third set, back and forth, and I know it had to have been nerve-wracking for you guys, knowing just how the first 2 sets went. You knew you started pulling away a little bit there. You had some good serves, some good aces. Also, you had some good kills there, and again, some good net play.
Thank you.
So what's this mean, getting this win over Morrison? Keeps you guys right up there at the top of the division, and to beat Milledgeville last night, who's a good team, right up with you guys, and then to get this win tonight, you're starting to build a little momentum and get some wins.
Yeah, hopefully it'll build up to more, and we'll be winning more, and we'll just become even a better team. Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win. Good luck down the road.
Okay, thank you.
That's Kirby Gurman of the victorious Fulton Steamers as they defeat Morrison tonight. It took 3 sets to do it, but when the dust settled, the Steamers come out on top 2-1 as they get the victory here tonight over their old nemesis down the road, the Morrison Phillies. Congratulations, Coach. A big win, and anytime you can beat your rival, that's always a blessing.
Yeah, I said to the girls, I said, Morrison's record's 10-10, but, they've played teams close. They've, teams that we've lost to, that we've won to, you look at the scores, and they hang in there. They've been working really hard in the past couple of years. Some of those kids have been coming to our team camp here, and it's building, and she's doing a good job in building their program back up. They were scrappy, they got everything up.
And that's one thing, when you put Fulton and Morrison together, it does not matter what the sport is, what your record is, it always comes right down to the wire. And this one you fell behind in the first match, went back and forth, and they took that first set 25-23, and I knew it had a good talking to with the girls and get them focused for that second set.
Yeah, our pregame talk too was, we knew we'd have a big crowd, just having Morrison and Fulton here, and then it being homecoming on top of it. And, we had a great student section. You could see that before because our younger kids went long, and which is great. And I said, we're going to have to focus. We are really going to have to hone in and focus on what you're doing out on that floor. You're going to have so much adrenaline, and we did. I mean, we were so up and down tonight. Our hitters were overrunning the ball. Like the ball was way behind them. I mean, there was just a lot, or way too early. Which is just a lot of the adrenaline going on, and it's like a lot of those timeouts were just relax, guys.
Yeah.
Just relax. We've got this. You got to focus on what you're doing individually. You got to take care of your hitting approach. You got to take care of your passing, things like that.
You came up with some good serving, too, as well, not only in the second set, but the last set as well, and some good net play when you needed it, and then some girls stepped up.
Yeah. We actually tonight our serving we missed 11 serves tonight. That was pretty inconsistent, but we pulled through, and I would say that Morrison probably missed just as many.
Yeah.
So an apple for an apple on that
right,
one. So
right.
we lucked out. No, we did. We had some good net play. I think that it just really was very inconsistent tonight. There were times that we would watch a ball and we'd be like 5 seconds too late. And then there's other times where we were just right on it. We were playing scrappy and getting it off the block. I think our blockers did very well tonight.
Yeah,
that helped us out a lot. We really stopped a lot of their hitting. I think that's key. We have a strong block. We have some big girls up there, and that was very helpful for us tonight.
Win that second match, that gave you that momentum heading into that third and decisive set, and you started off strong, and then again back Morrison would come and back and forth, but your team held their composure, did what they had to do, and came out on top.
Yeah, I think, one thing that they do very well is we play a couple different defenses, and we kind of switched our defense midway through, and we switched it for their different outside hitters. When one was up there, we were playing rotational defense, and when the other one was up there, we were playing regular defense. And they listen well, and they do move very well for that. So that helped us pick up some of those points too.
All right, and to come off Milledgeville last night in 2 hard-fought games last night, and then turn around here and went to 3 sets tonight, and your team prevails. 2 good wins this week for you.
Yeah, and it was a hard win last night too. We won in 2, but it was close. 25-22, 25-22, and intense the whole time. I mean, that first game against Milledgeville, it was 9-9. It was point for point for point for point. I was halfway done with my subs by the time we were at 10 points.
Wow.
And that's one thing I wish IHSA would go, was just eliminate the amount of subs we have. I have so many other girls that I could really utilize, and I feel like I'm stuck a lot of times because by the time you get to the end of the game, I'm out of subs, and if I, were to utilize some of those other kids, I would be out, by the time we were at point 15. I don't like that aspect, but I mean, it was an intense game last night as well. We played a little up and down last night. And I think so much of that is we're not really young. I can't say we're young.
Right.
But we are inexperienced.
Yeah.
We have a lot of those kids that, they weren't starters last year, and they may be seniors, but they weren't in that starting lineup last year. So, everybody's really new, and it just takes a while when everybody's
Everybody get to meshing and
Yep.
you're headed the right direction. 2 big wins here. Now you go to the Sterling tournament over the weekend.
Yep, which is nice. We it's 2. Our fresh staff has a tournament, and then we have a tournament as well, and it's homecoming.
Right.
But if there's a place to be, it's Sterling's tournament, because usually we're out of there at a pretty decent time, so the kids don't worry too much, about it. And they're focused on the games.
Good competition for you as well.
Yes, we are. And actually, I really haven't looked. I was focused on Milledgeville. We had a big scouting report, and we practiced 3 days for them. And then Morrison, as much as I could tell from max preps, things like that, just stats. letting the kids know about that, and so now my focus is, okay, what are we faced with?
Yep.
That's our practice. Our next 2 practices will be for those teams.
Well, good luck to you, Coach, in that tournament this Saturday then, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, thank you.
All right, that's head coach Stacy Gurman of the victorious Fulton Steamers. Took 3 sets tonight, but it was the Steamers prevailing over their old nemesis, the Morrison Phillies, here tonight. 2-1. Morrison won the first set 25-23. Steamers took the second set 25-18, and they take the third and decisive set as well, 25-19. Fulton now improves to 6-1 in Southern Division play, 14-6 on the season. Again, they'll be back in action Saturday when they'll travel over to Sterling to take part in that tournament. Morrison, with the loss, drops to 2-4 in the NUIC South. They're now 10-11-2 on the season. They'll be back in action on Monday when they host Sterling Newman. The freshmen split a game apiece. The JV goes to Fulton 2-1, and the varsity match to the Steamers as well, 2-1. And that's going to do it for our telecast tonight. Thanks to those behind the scenes for the great engineering work this evening. Thanks to you for tuning in to our telecast tonight. And again, it is the Fulton Steamers getting the victory over the Morrison Phillies tonight, 2-1. And our next volleyball telecast will be coming up on Tuesday, next Tuesday, a week from tonight, when they'll play host to league-leading Eastland. Don't forget, we'll have Steamer football homecoming coming up on Friday against Dakota. So until next time, Robert Bertram saying so long from Stan Borgman Court here at Fulton High School.